So we hear the phrase positive school culture a lot used in the school, certainly that I speak to. What does it look like in your eyes? What do you what does good school culture look like to you?
I think the key thing that I've already mentioned is about those relationships, and that's relationships with staff, relationships with students, and relationships with the families that you serve. I was very open and frank when I came to this school that I felt there was a level of arrogance within the school where kind of we know better, and that had really been detrimental to the relationship with students and with families. And in order for the school to be successful and have a positive culture, you need to be able to work together and work collaboratively. So that's the key thing, is relationships, but then also that level of over communication. I think over communication is key. You need to constantly be revisiting your values and keep it really, really simple. So the key thing for me when I came here was it had been evolved that there were quite a few students that were opting out of their learning and not being in lessons. So for me, the first thing I wanted to tackle was emptying the corridors and making sure that everybody was in lesson. And that's what we focused on. And until we'd got that right, we didn't decide to move on to anything else. So when you walk into somewhere and you can see you've got loads of areas and you're firefighting, you're thinking, oh, I need to try and solve everything at once. But I think it's really important to take that step back and think, right, I'm going to focus on one thing. I'm going to do that really, really well, get that embedded, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. And from my point of view, in my opinion, I don't think there's any harm in doing that. I think when we're looking at school improvement, every school could have a list of things that they need to work on. But if you've got too many, you're all going to just do them to a superficial level. So to really embed that, let's have a sole focus on one thing. Let's get everybody understanding the rationale and the vision behind it and what you want to do, what good looks like. So what do you want to see at the end? And then just keep on nailing that until you get it right, and then think, right, we've got that. We're going to move on to the next thing. But that isn't to forget that thing that you've already done. There is still opportunity, just like teaching a lesson when you need to do the retrieval practice. You need to do the same when it comes to culture, and you're looking at your routines and structures to make sure that they're really embedded.